Oh, now we're live. Or should I say, oh, now, aloha, hola, good morning, wherever you're checking in from. This is the morning run. Let's go. It's Big Dog Chico, Uncle Neely. We will have Philip Dukes on as our trio. We'll be back together in full effect on the morning run this morning. Happy Friday, aloha Friday out there to everybody. And from out here in the middle of the ocean to all the way back to the muddy Mississippi and Uncle Neely. How you doing, Unc?
I'm doing good, man. A little on one hand, what a blessing it is to be alive and amongst the living, as the old folks say. But I'm a little perturbed at Big Dog Chico.
Wow, the Lakers
A little
lost last night.
disturbed. I'm a little on edge because we did Unc and Chico live last night.
Right.
And we do just like the Marvel movies. When the show is over, the show ain't over. Well, when I thought the second show was over, I logged off only to wake up this morning and find out, when another 10 minutes without me, dogging me.
Dog you.
Because the only way you can win, and is to talk in my absence. So you let me log off. And even the chat was saying, Chico done double back on him. See, let me tell you this. I remember I went on a 2-man with a dude like you one time. And we both agreed we were leaving. I get home, my Popeyes, I look up, he's still over there. He done double back on me. Like, hey, Chico.
He like, I ain't tell you to leave. You left because you wanted to leave.
You double back on me. But nevertheless, it is the morning run live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's your man, Uncle Neely, right-hand man, Big Dog Chico. Deuce to Scoop in his absence, but I know he's going to join us. You know what to do if you're in the chat. Check in. Let us know where you're checking in from. I see Pearland, Texas, Carroll City. Oh, man, Baton Rouge. The Red Stickers in the house. ATL is in the building. Y'all know what to do. You come in. Davenport, Florida. Y'all checking in. I see you. Y'all check on in and let us know where you're watching from. Got a great show today, man. You also call this show Wide Receiver U. Got Jason Phillips, wide receiver coach, Colorado. We got KHADAREL HODGE, who was a wide receiver with the Atlanta Falcons, now made his first Pro Bowl this year. I can't believe Duke's showing up late on a Friday, and we got just Falcons galore.
I'm sure he got something special going on. He probably putting on a full Falcons uniform or something. Helmet, pants, cleats, socks, everything. He gonna show up ready to go.
Now. Chico. I'm getting tired of saying this.
What are you tired of
saying? But I have to say it because you won't say it.
I thought you was talking about his wide receiver. It was a great wide receiver show because I'm on it. They called me Gold Fingers back in the day.
I thought they called you Stone Hands. I know your gold fingers was attached to your stone hands. So, but no, Chico, I got to say something. I know the reason I got to say it because you ain't gonna say it.
Okay.
The other morning when it went from 64 to 32 to 16, I went to bed number one. Now it's going down to 16 to 8. Woke up this morning. Guess who's still number one?
Come on now, dog.
Chico Bracket Challenge. Shout out to Chris Evans out of Memphis, Tennessee. AKA the Anguilla Mosquitoes. He in second place, but he can't catch me, dog. I tried to tell y'all
the bracket, guys.
Challenge. None of y'all was gonna beat me. It was just not gonna happen. I know ball.
As you say, you know hoops.
Man, I'm a hoopaholic, man. Shout out to all the hoopers out there. Shout out to all the hoopers out there. And I know we get later in the show, we're gonna get into some Braun and Stephen A and some tournament stuff.
Yes, indeed. We need to ask our guest about it too. We need to ask Coach J. Phil and Mr. Hodge about these topics also. So we'll involve them in our conversation, let them join the conversation. And everybody in the chat, as Unc told you guys before, let our guests know where you guys are checking in from. So they'll know that you guys are listening from around the world. As we say on the other shows, from the Pineapple to the Big Apple, East Coast to the far West Coast. That's what we're doing, man. For the
we got not only got Arizona in the house, we got Manchester, England.
Manchester.
Oh, now Manchester, England. That's somebody from Ghana watching the show the other night live.
They probably sipping some tea over there, just like I am here.
Oh hell. And you was dogging my jelly beans. I heard you when I got out there, but I got some jelly beans to the side over here.
See what I'm saying? Listen, we gonna have some grown men on the show today. Let's have a grown man discussion for the next minute and a half. That's all we need. Look at him.
Got that black jelly bean too. That's only for the black folks, Chico. You can't have one.
Unc said he's so pro-black last night that he only eat black jelly beans. He threw away all the other ones. Come on, dog. Are you serious? That ain't gonna make you no blacker, Unc.
Well, you the one with the professor of Afro studies at the PWI haircut, just so you can blend in and stand out while you blend in. Let me eat jelly beans. You rock your afro. We both gonna do it. Chico, let me tell you this. Let's go ahead and stop playing around, man, and bring in this first guest. I'm tired of talking to just you.
Really?
Man, when you look at the wide receiver room at Colorado last year, one of the most prolific in the nation, and everybody's wondering how can it bounce back with those losses. Well, we got a guy that's going to be able to tell you just how, because not only did he do it when he was in college, led the nation in receptions, was the leading receiver for a Heisman Trophy winning Andre Ware. He went on to, when he got into his coaching, he just recently coached a Heisman Trophy winning receiver, Travis Hunter.
Cold-blooded.
Coach Jason Phillips, a.k.a. J. Field, is in the building. Man, let's bring him up, man.
Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on.
Yeah, there he is.
Coach J. Field in the house with a guest.
Yeah, great morning, man. Great morning to the Morning Run Live, man. Appreciate you guys having me on this morning. I have an inspiring podcaster, Brother Ken here, Brother Neely, Brother Ken, and we gotta have him on, man, so we can, he likes to laugh. I mean, you guys are funny, man.
Hey, look, hey, J. Field, you have warmed my heart seeing Brother Ken, and I see a little glow in the background. Is that a lightsaber behind you?
His lightsaber ain't working, man.
Look, let me tell y'all, man, you don't know what's going to happen on the Morning Run Live, but you know it's going to be live. I'm going to tell you that damn much. J. Field, let's just talk about the elephant in the room real quick, man. And I ain't talking about Chico and his hair. When you look at the Colorado receiving unit last year, Travis Hunter, LaJohntay Wester, Will Shepherd, you probably got somewhere around 80% of that offense departing. But yet we stand here and say it's a better receiving unit, better team now, man. J. Field, make it make sense to the people.
Well, you left out Jimmy Horn. So, I mean, Jimmy Horn is one of those guys, too, man, that's obviously departing along with Will, LaJohntay, and then obviously Travis Hunter, the Enigma. I mean, he was something totally special, special player. But I think the biggest thing, man, is we're losing a quarterback in Shedeur Sanders, somebody that actually was able to orchestrate and get all those guys on the same page. I think the biggest thing that we were very fortunate is all those guys played selfless football. I mean, they really wasn't in it for themselves. They were in it for the team's success. They were in it to see each other succeed as well. So, that's something that the chemistry we had in last year's room, man, is something that we're currently building with the new guys. But when you put a percentage on offense like that, you just want to make sure you get guys in there that love playing football, because that's what those guys did. So once you can replace that element, I think we'll be fine. I think there won't be a drop off. I think you as well know, Neely, last year when we had some injuries sustained in a couple games, those guys, the backup guys, stood up and they stepped up and they played tremendous roles, and they did their part. And so I hope those guys will continue to do that. I think we got some guys in the room currently that is willing to take on the mantra of replacing those guys. So I'm excited about this group, man. Really excited.
And Coach, when you look at spring ball, when we get back there, that'd be practice 7. It concludes with practice 15, the AK spring game. What are you looking for out of your unit for these next few practices to give you that sense of comfort and confidence going into fall camp?
Well, I think the biggest thing is one of the things that we talked about is just making sure that we understand why we're here. Making sure those guys embrace the program, embrace what comes along with being a part of Colorado. This, as we're doing things like this, those guys in the spotlight, understand the culture, man. Just be ready to, deal with any type of adversity that may come your way. Obviously, every play is a big play, even in practice, as you well know. Coach Prime don't play. So you drop a ball in practice, you out. And so just getting those guys to understand the elevation of what it's going to take for us to be successful at this level at Colorado, because it's different than a lot of other places. It's not the same. And so once those guys have an understanding of that and can grasp that, then I think we'll be fine. And they've done a great job of doing that so far. I think the biggest thing too, you don't have you don't have Travis and those other guys in the room. So all these guys are, they battling for position, man. And you kind of want to see that. You want to see the competition level rise. You want that. We've kind of kept the numbers small this spring than other springs. And so a lot of guys are getting a lot of reps, and they have an opportunity to show us what they're capable of. But more importantly, man, it's about the mentality, man. You got to come in here every day and make plays every day. I'm all about, as you know me, I'm like demonstrated ability. I need to see you do it. I don't need to hear you talk about it. What you gonna do? I need to see that.
It's a demonstration going on. For some of the young guys, and this could go to recruiting too, who might not have seen you play, they heard Coach Prime talk about you, how you were a dog also. Can you give people your background all the way up from coming up from Louisiana, then playing to the pros, and to now coaching, so that if I'm a young recruit out there, I don't know who Coach Phillips is, I can get to know him right now.
Oh, wow, man. Hey, first of all, let me say, man, I have a great deal of respect for you, man. You taking the beating from Brother Neely, man, and you just taking it, man. So, I don't know what the beef feel, but I like you already, my brother, just so you know.
I appreciate it.
But now, man, I come from humble beginnings, man. I grew up in Crowley, Louisiana. For most people that don't know what that is, it's off I-10 between Lafayette and Lake Charles. Started my football career there with my uncle and my auntie. My auntie was a big influence in me playing football. So she wanted her nephew to play, and she got out there and played with me. And so, I just kind of grew up from there. From there, moved to Houston, Texas, man. When I started 7th grade, went to Cullen Middle School, Hartman Middle School, played quarterback at Sterling High School here in Houston. And from there, went to Taft Junior College. Went there as a quarterback, but ended up playing receiver. And that's kind of where the transition kind of took place, from me playing quarterback, growing up and playing receiver. I had an opportunity to go to University of Houston under Jack Pardee, was the head coach. John Jingles, the offensive coordinator. And, I went there. I had some options, man. I had Miami, Texas A&M, USC, Tennessee. And, what they promised me was an opportunity to play. And that's what we tell kids in recruiting. I mean, it's not always where you want to go. It's where you're going to get an opportunity to do what you've been doing. And that's one of the messages that a lot of guys need to get clear on. Yeah, what I've loved that play at the University of Miami, under Jimmy Johnson and playing with some great players, which they, offered me an opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. But I didn't want to do it as a backup.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Same thing at Texas A&M. I had an opportunity to go there, but I didn't want to do that as a backup. And so Houston gave me an opportunity to get on the field immediately. The offense, the run and shoot offense, was coming into town, and I was very familiar with it, with the Houston Gamblers, and seeing the success of those guys, and just listening to those coaches tell me that I would be the collegiate version of that, and then go out and have an opportunity to be an All-American, lead the country in receiving, and all those things came true because I had an opportunity to get on the field. And so that was my story, man. I mean, from there, the ball was in my court, and I just took it and ran with it. And I had an opportunity to play with a Heisman Trophy winner and Andre Ware. And a lot of people don't talk about this, man, which is kind of baffling to me, and it's kind of shameful that even the Heisman committee don't talk about this. He was the first African-American quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy. And not a lot of people talk about that. And that's it's kind of disheartening. And I hate to be the one to constantly bring it up, but it is what it is. It's a fact. He was the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I love about you and Dre Ware's relationship, Coach, when I first met you at Jackson State, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you were Andre Ware's receiver. He won the Heisman. And you said he wasn't throwing the ball to his damn self. Somebody had to catch it.
Yeah, he had to throw to somebody, brother.
Yeah.
He wasn't throwing to himself. And, he had some great guys, myself, James Dixon, Kevin Mason, a guy by the name of Kimball Anders. You guys may remember him. Chiefs Hall of Ring of Honor in Kansas City. And then a guy that followed us, Manny Hazard. He broke a record and had 147 receptions in 1 year. And so, I wish I had a redshirt and would have came back and probably would have had 200 receptions.
Man. Coach, one of the things that I love when I sit in your wide receiver room or watch your drills is not only that you are an exceptional coach, I think you're an even greater teacher because you teach the why and what's expected and why it benefits the player, et cetera, to do it this way. And I've seen you coach guys, that may be a walk-on in your room all the way up to Travis Hunter the same way. who is it or what was it from your background and a coach that you had that's something you gleaned from, or is it something that you wish you would have had? Like, where does it come from that you take that time out to make sure you're teaching and not just coaching?
That's a great point, man. I think the biggest thing for me is, every player needs a coach that believes in them. And if you can do that, and you're not just in there to coach the superstars. I mean, everybody knows who in the room can play, but you can impact more lives, man, when you coach everybody. And then you never know what injuries might occur. I mean, right now, we're sustaining like 5 or 6 injuries in the room right now this spring. And so those guys, they came there to play. And so you want to make sure you get those guys ready to play. You're right. If you're in the room, you're going to get coached the same way as anybody else in the room. And you're going to be expected to perform the same way, just like everybody else in the room. So I think it's extremely important, man, for every coach to coach the room. You get more of a, credibility that way. Guys believe in what you teach, what the program is all about. When you can do that, when you can reach from the lowest to the top and make sure everybody feels involved, because they all have a role. Every role in that room is important to us, to the success of our program. So that's just always been something I've adapted. I can't say I picked it up from anywhere because
Bluetooth disconnected.
it's different, but that's just how I do things in our room.
And let me double back on that, because you have this fine line of coaching and teaching that meshes with your sense of human personality, that you have a way of getting the guy told without, where you have a unique delivery at times. And have you found that that's something that relationship capital wise, the younger guys can take it better, or what have you?
Yeah, man, you know who you can talk to that way. I mean, you know who you can get away with it with. I think it's sometimes, Brother Neely, you know this. You've been in the room with me. Sometimes you just shoot the gun and shoot the gun. It ain't nobody did anything. You just shoot the gun, let them know, hey, look, I'm capable of firing this weapon. don't go there.
That's all.
Yeah, I've seen it. It works. It's quite effective.
Yeah, because if they know you'll shoot, then everybody line up, man. But it's all in fun. I think we all get a kick out of it, guys. We have a lot of fun in that room, but we also have a lot of, it's serious business, because we know what the expectations are. We know who we represent, man. We represent Coach Brown. We represent Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
We know where the bullet's coming from, and everybody's taking a shot, man. So we want to make sure we minimize those shots in our room. And so we have to be able to relate to one another, laugh, joke, but also get serious about what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you about your fellow Louisiana native that's in that room. That's Marion Miller from Vivian, Louisiana. Sustained an injury. Can you talk about how well he's progressing and coming back this season, and what are you expecting from him this season?
I'm expecting Marion to be what obviously Will was last year for us, in some regard, what Travis was for us. Right now, he's doing well. He's on a time schedule. When we get back from spring break, we'll start infusing him into some things from an individual standpoint. Hopefully, we'll get some 7-on-7 out of him. I'll have to negotiate that with AP, our trainer, just to kind of see how much I can get out of him. But there's big expectations for O. I mean, I think the conversations that we've had with O, and I say we, and Coach Rashad Davis, my assistant, we talked to O quite a bit. We think O is very capable of having a breakout season. And if he does that, then, his future's bright. He'll have an opportunity to explore the next level if that's what he chooses to do. So, our expectations for him is to come in and do the things that he hadn't done since we've been there. Let's just keep it, let's keep it 100, right? He's been underachieving. And when he gets his moments in a couple games, I guess the first game was SC. I wasn't here, and then a couple games this past season prior to him getting hurt. That's what he's capable of. So we need to see that every day. He needs to practice that way. He needs to start doing those things. And to his credit, he's doing that, So I'm excited to see when he comes back and what he's capable of getting done for us. I think the biggest thing is just getting him here this latter part of spring practice and just getting his mentality right, so he goes in the offseason knowing he can get back on the field and be able to contribute the way he's done so far the last 2 seasons.
You've also seemingly had Hodge to yourself more this spring. He's been out of the gray and in white, and he's going to still play both ways. But what are you looking for? What have you seen out of him as far as him making sure he's spending more time with the receivers now?
Well, I think the biggest thing, the more he's with us, the more opportunity he's in the room to have an opportunity to learn what's going on and then be able to adapt to what we're teaching in there. He's improving every single day. I think the biggest thing with him, the more he's in there with us, man, the better he's becoming as a receiver. He's adapting to the game. He's a very athletic guy, very gifted, got great hands. He's going to replace some of that slot production that we had last year with Jimmy Hart and LaJonte. I mean, he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to fill that role and step in immediately. So, I mean, we're not destitute in that room at all. We've got some talent in that room. It's just an opportunity for these guys this spring, with the numbers being as low, to take them the max of the reps so they can get to where they need to get to by the time we roll the first game out in August. So I'm excited about Isaiah, man. He's a great kid, and he works hard.
They're hard. Also, you have additions on that, not just any additions, but Hall of Fame additions on that coaching staff with you see Marshall Faulk right here you're talking to. Talk about what he could bring to that offense and to that running back room for us.
I think the biggest thing, man, with those guys, when those guys come in there with those gold jackets, is instant credibility, right? So, I mean, those guys coming in there, and then Marshall can speak from a standpoint of been there and done that. I'm gonna be honest again, man. Not a lot of people can make that transition from player to coach, and I've been really, really impressed with how those guys. They're in their calling now, but they missed their calling. They could have been doing this years ago, man, because those are outstanding knowledge that they're spreading with these guys. The things that I'm learning just being in the offensive room with Marshall Faulk, it's from a running back standpoint, how he reads keys and what he's looking for, what his expectation is of the O-line, the conversations that the O-line coaches and he are having. It's just been enlightening just to kind of see and just sit back and watch all that. So, our running game will be better because of the addition of Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, I love that, Coach. Now, I love to see the offensive staff meetings when you and Faulk are in the room together now, man. The conversation, the feedback. We got a couple questions from the chat. One, people are asking, who is that fly guy sitting next to you, Coach Phillips? They want to know who he got the lightsaber out. You're never going to see Master Yoda without Luke Skywalker.
This is my good friend, Brother Ken, man. Anytime I'm in Houston, I like to hang out over here. He's got some interesting things going on in this place. One being the lifesaver, as you know, Brother Neely, the story behind that. Maybe you can share that story, at some point. But so everybody can get a real perspective of how this guy's mind works. It's all over the place.
It works different. One thing I will share about our good brother there, you can spend the day with him, right? And when you get up the next morning, there is a complete illustration of cartoon series on the day before.
Hey.
Yeah. And it is detailed. He doesn't miss a line. Like I don't care who else is involved. Like it's great. It's great.
Suspicious license plate. Yeah. Exactly.
Fictitious.
Fictitious license plate. Yeah, he does that, man. He likes to listen to what's that, Funkadelics. So I think that's his inspiration.
Make his
cosmic, all that, man.
The mothership will certainly land when he's around.
Yeah. And he sees the mothership from time to time over here.
Got a couple questions for you from the chat. King David Cartel says, Coach Phillips, which freshman do you see getting playing time this year? And then Maya wants to know about your relationship. Your relationship with Coach Prime. So which freshman are you looking forward to making an impact this year?
Well, as anybody that follows our program closely knows, we have not had a freshman other than Cam last year due to injury that didn't play for us. So, we expect when we bring freshmen in, we bring freshmen in to play. That's not something that we do. Now, and at other places, I've been doing this close to 30 years now. At other places, you bring freshmen in to kind of develop, kind of add to the depth of your program. Where we adding depth, but we expecting these guys to play immediately. So to answer that question, we expect all those freshmen to play and to have some type of contribution to our success this upcoming season. The second question, as far as Coach Prime and I, man, we go back to 1987-88. We first met during the All-American circuit. And I think it was at the Kodak event. We were on that line at the Kodak event, and they did like a highlight tape on everybody. And I just kind of casually leaned over to him and said, man, based on that, man, I probably would have had 10 catches, 200 yards, about 3 touchdowns. And you know him, brother. He liked that. So we kind of hit it off ever since, man. And then we spent some time in Atlanta as teammates with the Falcons together for 3 years. And then, obviously going against him every day in practice. Phenomenal talent, phenomenal human being. And one of the things, he had like this file cabinet on all the receivers in the league. And being a guy on the practice squad, I mean, sometimes I'll be on the practice squad and I had to get these looks. I was like, man, he got a foul cabinet. I can't do what they want me to do on this card. I can't run a slant. He finna cover. No, we're gonna run a slant and go here, Brett. So we had Brett Favre. I was like, hey man, we're gonna run a slant and go on this. And I was just saying this, you hear us say this all, you ain't getting the card. Jay Phil, that ain't what they run, man. Give me the card. No, you ain't getting the card. You ain't getting it. Because they filming this up here, man. I'm trying to stay here too.
Yes. Yeah. I understand that greatly. From a smaller scale, of course. I had to play what do you call it, scout team my junior year when I redshirted, and I was going against the #1 DB. They was talking. I said, okay, this is gonna be real deal then. We might as well go hard because I got to get better too out here. Right. I can't just be like giving you a look and doing what's on the card. I got to get better, bro.
You ain't getting the card.
I feel you on that.
You ain't getting it.
You earned that respect right there. Most definitely. Well, Dukes just came in and joined us.
Made it in from Blue Flame against the Wings in Magic City.
Coach,
he's a huge Atlanta Falcons fan. You see the helmet back there. And I was like, ain't no way Duke's going to miss this show. But, when the Wings on special at Magic City, you got to go get them when you got to get them. Deuce the Scoop coming in from ATL. What's going on, brother?
Man, not much, man. When you get day shift by yourself and you get the opportunity, you got to go, man. So I want, for those that I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking. But no, man, I appreciate the opportunity, and Coach Phillips, man, everything that you've been able to do. I did want to ask you a question about the offense that you guys ran when you were in college. How much of those concepts, when in that Heisman winning season that you were a part of, how much of those concepts do you still see in today's game?
It's a great question, man. I think a lot of those concepts still exist. Obviously, you got switch routes, you got seam routes, seam reads. I think the biggest thing, the concepts are the same. It's just the adjustments that are different right now, because we adjusted to every coverage that we saw. So as we was running the route, that if the coverage changed, the route would change. And so it just made it, we had to all be on the same page. So we drilled a lot of different things during the week in practice. We were more of a team concept practice team as far as quarterbacks and receivers. I always spent a lot of time together as far as going through these different concepts or different coverages. So when we saw something, we all was on the same page and we would make the adjustments. But as far as the schemes and the concepts, man, a lot of it's the same today. It started with the air raid. I think a lot of it transitioned to the air raid, and then a lot of the air raid stuff is you're seeing now. So it's a lot of things. The only thing is different is right now that they're not adjusting to option routes. There's not a lot of option routes out there.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Coach. I want to get your thoughts on young brother that's in your room on the coaching staff, Coach Rashad, and what he means as an assistant to you and his career trajectory. A lot of folks don't get to see really behind the scenes on how they assist the position coaches. But talk to us about the value and trust that you place in Rashad to help you get things done.
There would be no Jason Phillips without Rashad Davis. And I'll just keep it that simple, at point blank. I mean, since we've been together at Jackson State, obviously, he does a lot of work, and he's he's going to be a great coach whenever he gets his opportunity. I hope he gets it soon. He deserves it. But, the things that we do together, we don't do that. I don't do this without people, and I can't do what I do. And the players in the room can't have the success that they're having without a group of guys, obviously, doing the things that are necessary. And Rashad does a great job of making sure these guys are prepared, does a great job of following up with these guys, and so, as you can see, Neely, right now I'm just trying to turn some things over to him just so he can get more and more experience at doing what he knows, and just let him kind of run with it, so to speak. And so when his opportunity comes in, he can feel very, very comfortable. But there is no Jason wide receiver, Jay Field coach without a Rashad Davis in the room right now. So he means a lot to me. He means a lot to our program, but more importantly, man, he means a lot to our players. Our players trust him. They believe in him. They listen to him. He has a way of commanding the room and commanding his presence. And so I'm excited to see what he does with that in the future.
Love that. Hey, Dukes, is Hodge in the green room?
Yep.
Hey man, because I want these two brothers to meet, man. Bring Hodge in, even though we hadn't done the proper introduction. I got to introduce you, Jay Field, to this brother, man.
Okay.
He's not on camera right now. He's in the green room, but he's not on camera. Hodge, there he is. There we go. There we go. Now he's on that thing. Oh no.
Jay Field, the brother on the screen right there, man. Let me tell you a quick story about it. High school quarterback like yourself. He 3,000 yards, 2,000 yards on the ground, goes to college, converts to wide receiver. So he goes from Mississippi to Prairie View, like you went to Louisiana to Houston. Both of y'all converted to receivers. Both of y'all played Detroit Lions, but then ended up at the Falcons where you really made your name.
Crazy.
Wow.
Like the synergy between you two, I was like, we can't have them both as guests and they not meet each other. Like,
my pleasure to meet you, brother.
Pleasure, my pleasure. The pleasure is mine,
Man. We blazed some of the same trails, man. So it's just like I tell everybody, man. It's more than one way to get there. Just
man, I took the long route too, man. I got lost in GPS for a minute. For real.
Hey, one of the things I want to ask you off the rip with Jay Field still here with us, because I know that golf course calling Jay Field. Is again, prolific quarterback in high school. You go to college. You went Alcorn first, then JUCO, then Prairie View. Switched to receiver, but where you have really made your mark in the NFL and made the Pro Bowl is special teams. And I know Jay Field is always preaching to players like, dog, y'all cannot sleep on special teams. It's your entry to the NFL. Talk to us about the importance of, like you said, your GPS took you all over, but how special teams made you the pro you are.
Yeah. I didn't really realize how important it was until I got to the league. I never really played special teams until I got to my rookie year, and they put me at gunner. I didn't really know what to do. So I mean, it kind of just came natural with the receiver spot, but like you said, I never played. Like I never really tackled anybody until I got to the league. But I actually seen the importance of it because I mean, in a way, that's how you stay on the field. You're always going to be on the field, and you just do what you need to do until you get your opportunity on, whether you play offense or defense. But I mean, it's a big part of the game, but people don't realize how game changing special teams can be. Whether you can score on special teams, you block a punt, you force a turnover. It's game changing opportunities, and people don't realize if you don't really watch the game. But if you watch the game, you'll see like that play right there changed the game. It can be like any little play, like field position, like anything. You can change the game in any type of way. So yeah, it's important, man. I think it's becoming more important in the game. You can see like they keep changing like the rules and everything, is trying to make the game more fun. Just field position. It's a field position thing as well. So yeah, I noticed it was how important it was when I got to the league.
No, that's good stuff, man. Because one of the things that obviously they don't even have the round, brother Neely. I was drafted in no more.
Undrafted over here.
I was drafted in the 10th round, man. They don't even have that round no more, man. I got drafted in the 10th round in Detroit. As soon as I got there, I knew I'm gonna have to do something. I had two good advices, man. One of my coaches from college, his name's Pat Thomas. He was a DB in the league for years, 10 years. He played 10 years, played at A&M. And one of the things he told me, man, going into the league, he said, listen, he said, all you have to do every day is worry about beating that guy in front of you. Don't worry about what other guys they bring in that room, but every time you go out there, you beat that dude in front of you. You'll have a shot to make that team. And that's what my man just said, man, with special teams, that's going to be a guy in front of you. So you're gonna have to do whatever you got to do in order to make that team. And just know this: they video and everything, man. So the more you out there doing stuff, the more opportunity people get to see you. You get the GMs watching that tape, the owners, everybody's watching. So you got to go out there, man. You can't just be a wideout. And I'm 5'8", 165 pounds going in. I had to run down on kicks, be a gunner. I had to make a way, be a backup return dude or something. Yeah. I'm gonna do this. I packed all my bags, brothers, when I left Houston to go to Detroit. I wasn't coming home.
The
That's
mentality
my
you gotta have.
mindset. Yeah, I said they got to drag me out the league. So
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
getting everything I can out of them before they get out of me.
Well, definitely. Just got a brand new contract with the Falcons. Got re-signed with the Falcons. How important was that for you?
Man,
And
that was
how'd you feel?
big. That was big, man. It was major, man. I thank God first. You know what I'm saying? It's been 7 years I've been riding that minimum and just playing with that vet minimum, and finally getting a multi-year deal it's a blessing. And it started all coming together this past year, man. It was just plays after plays was coming. Sometimes I just sit back and like watch God like move mountains, man. It was just crazy play after another. It was like something I can't really explain. It was movie like, man. It was a blessing. So to have it come in year 7, going into year 8, man, I couldn't ask for a better time for real.
That's awesome.
Definitely, man.
Man, so I'm a huge Falcons fan. Pleasure to meet you. I'm from College Park. You know how we feel about the Falcons.
Oh yeah, I see the dirty bird in the back. Yeah.
Hey, man, shout out to my man David Bassett. He got me there. And so look, there, you got to walk me through the game-winning walk-off touchdown against the Bucs last year. When you caught that ball, bro, you might, hey, listen, they talking about me hanging out at certain establishments. What I'll say is this: every establishment that day was crunk, bro. When that happened, yeah, for sure. Walk me through that play, that walk-off touchdown. What was it, like 60, 65 yards, something like that?
May have been like 50. I'm not sure for real, but
it looked like 100 to us. Hey, boy, the whole city was going crazy.
Yeah, man, that was one of those movie moments too, bro. Like I still replay that in my head to the day. Even when I watch the video myself, I get chills. But it was like you said, man, it was crazy game, primetime game. I think it was Thursday night, and Drake was having a good game. I was going in and out for him. We was going back and forth, but overtime he caught one over the middle and he got banged up. I think his ribs or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in and I'm his backup. So whoever out of the 3, I'm like next up out of the next whoever comes out, I'm next up for any position on the field. So Drake comes out, I come in and I look at my receiver coach like, yeah, like I bet. I don't like all right. So I'm actually it was the play was like they went man to man, but the play was called to be for a zone. Like it was a little spot route.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran my little spot route and sat down quick, and Kirk put it on the right shoulder. The guy took a bad angle. You got one angle, bro. You got one angle to try to get me. You take a bad angle, it's a wrap. So he took the bad angle, try to tackle me high, and I seen green. I said, "Oh yeah, it's over with." So yeah, it's over with. I ain't look back after that. So man, next thing I know, it felt like it took about 1 second for me to get to the end zone. I looked back and everybody just came and jumped on me and everything. It was cool, bro. It was crazy the holding up, man. That was definitely like the highlight of my career for sure, man. That's going up on the wall for sure in the man cave. That's probably gonna be the first thing walking in. But that was crazy. Like, yeah, like you said, the city was on fire for a minute, bro. It was, man, we was at all-time high at that point in the season. And it just felt like everything was going good, but things derailed at the wrong time, bro.
Yeah, like you homeboy, I know you're a big Red. Red, when you look at your Falcons era right now, you talk about the city was on fire. Can you imagine being back there with Jay Field, with Dominique and Prime and Club 21?
Oh man, I heard they had the dome rocking, baby. Man, that's all they talk about.
We were in Fulton County first, man. I tell you what, if you want to get a real live experience about a fan base, playing Fulton County, because they gonna boo you if you didn't do what you're supposed to do. They for real.
Oh no, they cutthroat. That's one thing I learned about Atlanta fans. Like, hey, they will not hold their tongue. Now they gonna let you know.
Hold their tongue. And I love that about that city,
you good or bad. Yeah, they very. Hey, it's true. Like, you come in them comments, you get lost in them comments, man. You better have some tough skin, man, for real.
No, I tell you what, man, there was no better place to make plays than you experiencing that. If you make a play in Atlanta with the Falcons, you are raw.
They love you.
I love that.
That's exact. Yeah, they love me. Just off that play, you would think I was one of the top paid guys, man. But I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No, no,
Hodge,
no.
let me ask you this, man. Whether it's Detroit, the Rams, the Browns, now Falcons, and you're moving around, and now you got this multi-year deal under your belt. And again, congrats on that.
So,
Coming from Mississippi, from Mendenhall, going the JUCO route, then going to Prairie View HBCU. Do you still carry that kind of chip on your shoulder, or has that lessened some, or do you still think like that you have something to prove, being where you're from and the way you got there?
oh yeah, always. And that's anything I do though, man. That's just my mindset in anything. I always feel like I wake up every day just feeling like I'm overlooked and underrated. So that's just my mindset going into any situation, and that's the chip on my shoulder. Like I never get comfortable, and I never really feel like I get what I deserve. So that just keeps me going. And even if it's just a mental thing with me, just feeling like the deal I got now, I always feel I'm grateful for it, but I feel like I can get more out of what I've
Mhm.
done. Like the season I had last year, I feel like there's still more in me, and so I'm gonna just keep pushing. Like I never get really comfortable with what I've done in the past. I kind of want to beat what I've done in the past. Well, just want to get better and better each day. I try to find something I can get better at each day, whether it's something mentally catching or anything like quickness, speed, anything I see somebody else doing, I feel like I want to be better than them at what they do best. So I'm always like playing mental games and trying to get the best out of me, whether it's football, entertainment, anything I do, I want to be the best I can be. So man, yeah, I keep that chip on my shoulder and whatever I do. Like I'm a competitor. And I think that's what's really keeping me around as well. Like regardless of the situation I'm in, regardless of where you put me at on the depth chart, I'm gonna compete and I'm gonna grind and show you like I am supposed to be here. I'm not here by mistake. Like I grinded my way here and I'm gonna stay here. And like regardless of what you try to do, like I'm gonna always rise to the top. Like
Mhm.
it's like inevitable. Like inevitable.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna just keep going until I can't. And it's gonna continue to show. Like I don't really worry about the results, man. I just put my head down and work, and people can tell you around the building, like, regardless of what's going on, regardless of what's going on in the playbook or where I'm at on the depth chart, the work is consistent, man. So I
Yeah.
don't really, I don't really worry about what position I'm in, but I'm always grinding, trying to prove to myself, not to just others, but to myself that I am who I wake up and want to be every day.
Amen.
Yeah.
Love it,
Can I,
love it,
can I
love it.
piggyback kind of like off that question from Uncle Neely with the HBCU kind of theme? And I was going to ask I was going to say there's a lot of more HBCU players or small college players in NFL locker rooms than a lot of people know. Do you see a difference, whether it's mentality, skill, or anything, in HBCU players or smaller college players than the bigger schools in the locker room?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm glad you said that because I be telling people that all the time. Like you'll be surprised how many smaller school guys it is in the NFL. And I think that's just because of like the grind and they appreciate the grind and you know what it took to get there. So you're not gonna get comfortable when you do get there. Like
Hmm.
it's a lot of guys that not saying they're spoiled, but they've been privileged more than we have. Like we don't get a lot coming from HBCU. We barely survive in our financial aid. So we don't get stipends and all that. NILs. Like it's the grind. So you gotta, I think with that our mindset, you go out and earn it every day, like regardless of what you get the next day. Like it's always like I feel like I'm better than the next guy. So I'm gonna get up and prove it every day that I'm better than the next guy. I'm gonna keep showing you play by play, day by day, I'm better than this guy. And I think that's what a lot of guys that come from smaller schools, whether it's D1 AA or D2s or any smaller schools, that's the mindset. That it's always a prove it. And that's the mindset you gotta have. I have to prove myself every day, like every year, regardless of the situation. you know it's someone else. They trying to get you out. If they bring a drafted guy in, you're undrafted. You know you got to start again from the bottom. So
Yeah.
it's just having that mindset, and I think most of us do have that mindset, and that's why a lot of us are in locker rooms today.
Coach Phil, I see you nodding a lot to that and
Yeah.
amen it. The same mentality that you had to have, coming. Hodge was undrafted and you were drafted 10th round. Do you still see some similarities to what he's saying from your experience?
Yeah, I definitely can relate. I think his route and his philosophy and his beliefs and how he got to where he is no different than anyone else. I've never really allowed anybody to tell me what I couldn't do. I never use that as fuel to the fire, so to speak. Some guys use it as fuel to the fire. I've always believed that I was going to play on Sunday. And so that was never really fuel to the fire. But I did have to go out and prove, like he said, I had to go out and prove that every day. I think the one thing that people, need to understand about the National Football League is, man, that they don't care where you come from. If you can play, you can play. And if they find you, they expect you to play. And so that's something that a lot of people think because you go to these major schools or these PWIs and all these other schools and stuff, and that's where you're going to get your opportunity. You're sadly mistaken because they have scouting crews they send out everywhere. They find players from all over the place, from Europe, anywhere, wherever a Joker can play, they're going to find that Joker. And that Joker come in and can do it, and he going to get what he deserves. And so congratulations to you, man, in the route that you've taken. Because it's very unique, but it's also a testament to your hard work and your dedication to the sport and your love for the game. I mean, because that's the main thing, man. If you don't love the game, then you're not going to be able to give the game what it deserves, and it ain't going to be able to give you what you want. So you got to first love the game.
But Coach, speaking of love and getting what you deserve, we can announce right here on the morning run that Coach Prime has signed his extension. Years, 54 million. Let's
say that again, Unc. Hold down. Say it loud and clear for us, Unc, one more time.
Yeah, got a 5-year extension, 54 million. That puts him over 10 million a year, putting him in the top 10 stratosphere of what coaches are getting paid. So the deal is done. Deion Sanders has signed for 5 more years with the Colorado Buffaloes. So people out there saying he's going somewhere and don't recruit high school, y'all been wrong on both of them. I don't know how many times y'all gonna be wrong before you just stop talking. Like Chico. Chico wrong all the time and don't stop, but maybe y'all like him.
Hey, you said I crashed out 100 miles per hour.
JP, I know you've been with him, historically playing with him since Bob Hope shook y'all's hands as All-Americans and now on the staff again. What does this mean for you and recruiting and the team that this deal is done?
Stability. I mean, obviously that the deal's in place. Everything is what he said. And again, man, it's a testament to who he is as a person, to who he was as a player. I mean, the man is real, and everything he does is real. And for the haters and the doubters, man, I don't understand it, man. But for us, it's stability. Obviously, we're going to have an opportunity to be there for the next 5 years. He's getting paid what he deserves to get paid based on what he did. Not what he said, but what he did. The work that he put in, the work that we've all put in, the work that those kids put in. So he's getting taken care of the right way. And kudos goes to Colorado, Rick George, and those guys for making that happen, the Board of Regents, and all the people that had a decision in doing that. Man, it's about time, And so we feel really. I'm grateful that they have awarded him this because he's deserved it. And like you said, man, it's just stability. It gives us the chance to go out now. We don't have to worry about what people are saying. Not that we ever did, but we can show them contract in play, and now we can go make some moves.
I'll tell you this, J. Phil, between my homeboy Hodge signing and Prime signing, I just wasn't gonna hold something like that,
That's the first thing that happened.
Everybody signing. I want to sign something.
Hey man, you can't ever get nothing and expect nobody not want something from you.
You know it's coming.
That's the first thing they do.
I ain't never seen a crab reach down and pull nobody up, bro.
You done seen them reach up and pull down though.
They always pull it down, my brother.
Man, Chico happy about my ankles every day. I'm like, man, let me go, man.
First thing you do, brother Neely, grab your leg. Where you going?
If I can't go, ain't nobody going.
Ain't nobody going.
You gotta take little brother with you.
From your perspective in the NFL, I know you didn't get to play for Coach Prime, but that city still has his fingerprints all over it. When you see, a guy from Fort Myers, Florida, play for the Falcons, came up like you came up, and now as a head coach and getting this extension. What does it say to you, and how does it make you feel?
Man, I just want to say, man, first of all, I just wanted to say live that I appreciate what he's done for HBCUs, man. A lot of people is disrespecting him and saying he left, man, but I don't think they realize like how much he did for HBCUs when he was there, and even going forward, man. He had HBCUs on ESPN like Saturday football, like, bro. We was fighting to get on games. Like we was fighting to get on
Mhm.
TV. Sometimes we was fighting to get on ESPNU, and barely anybody was watching. He had college game day at Jackson State, man. That says a lot about him, man. He changed the game for SWAC players. We got HBCU bowls now, man. I just wanted to say, man, humbly, like, I appreciate everything he done for HBCUs while he was there, and even speaking moving forward, I think he still speaks highly of him and what he's done for us, man. It was amazing. It was amazing to see like those guys at those times getting the opportunity they done, and just to see him, man, just going regardless of what people say about him, man. He just stick to himself, like regardless. And I think that's inspiration as well. Like he never changed up. He's true to himself. Um, he just keeps the work and also keeps God's first within everything he does, man. That's amazing to see, and it's also inspiring. That's somebody I definitely look up to, man, and just how he move about his business and how he just keeps getting better and proving himself right. Not worried about what others say, but just believing in himself, man. Just the confidence he has in himself and whatever he do, like it's amazing to see. So major respect to him, bro, for real.
Yeah, he wore 21 in Atlanta. You wear 12, so it just flipped over. Make
Oh
it play,
yeah,
right?
You know, right?
big prime time, man. He go to for real. He go to for real.
Man, I had a question I want to ask both of you guys because it's funny how Colorado and the Falcons last year had kind of the same parallel. The Falcons had, the veteran quarterback with Kirk Cousins, who was the presumed starter. He was brought in to start. And they had this young gun quarterback in Michael Penix, who people saw the talent, but you had to respect the older guy. So the same thing in Colorado. You got you got a great player in Caden Salter, and you got this young gun in Julian Lewis, who's super talented. I wanted to ask you guys, how do you acknowledge the talent of the younger player without disrespecting the more veteran guy?
Great question.
That's a great question, man. I don't know. Just speaking from my perspective as a player, and he'll probably have a similar opinion or whatever. But as a player, let me just speak from a player's perspective too. So as a player, man, you just go out and play. Mm-hmm. You go out and do your job, what they're expecting you to do, regardless of whether it's a veteran quarterback or a young quarterback. If you go out and do your job, then it helps support both guys. And that's just, again, it goes back to respecting the game. It doesn't really matter. I didn't get caught up in whether my quarterback was a veteran or a rookie or whatever. I wanted to go out and perform well to help support whoever that quarterback was. And so, just looking at this situation we have here in Colorado, I think both those guys have a pretty decent relationship with one another. And the thing you like to see is that they're communicating. They're talking to one another, right? Because sometimes those battles can get real heated to where ain't nobody saying nothing to nobody. It becomes personal. And, that's a detriment to the team building. That's a detriment to us winning games. And I think the biggest thing, just seeing those guys, how well they get along with one another, they're bouncing things off one another. And I instruct my guys, I'll rotate my guys in there with all of them. Ain't no such thing as ones and twos. Get in there. Go every 3 reps, and everybody's rotating with everybody just so they can get a comfort level of when they see guys in there, they can perform at a level, man. And I make sure those guys perform no matter who's the quarterback, because it doesn't matter. Because we're the last person on the receiving end of that ball. We got to make sure we're there to do our job the right way.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. I go out and control what I can control. Like no matter who's behind center. Both of those guys have great talent. So regardless of what position we was in, you just got to go out and do your job and can't worry about it and just make the plays when they come to you. So I think both of those guys. Curtis had a long career and he's been good for a long time. And Mike has a bright future. I just wanted to say that. Say that publicly as well. I think he's gonna bring the juice back to Atlanta in the right way. He had his little do-rag thing. I expect to see the whole stadium in do-rags eventually. So he's a guy, man. I don't really gas a lot of guys up like this, but bro, he's talented, man. Arm strength, mobile, smart, calm. He has all the characteristics of being a good quarterback in this league. So for a long time. So I pray everything goes well for him, health and everything. But I think Atlanta has the right guy for sure.
I gotta ask this real quick. KHADAREL, when did you know Mike Penix was special? I'm being a super Falcons fan right now. When did you know he was special? He might not have been starting yet, but it was something that happened that kind of clicked in your mind. You was like,
Man, listen, we was in OTAs and bro threw I don't know what y'all call it, but we call it a blazer route.
Okay.
Man, it was like, just say it's like a seam. Just say a seam route up the numbers, whatever. Bro threw 40-yard dot on the line, like between safety, corner, everything. Everybody just looked at each other like, you're like, all right, yeah. Arm talent crazy. And he just walked away like whatever. Like cool. Like, yeah, it's the norm. And everybody, like, he goes out every day, man, and proves himself. Like, this is what he do. Like, the confidence he has about himself is good to see. So I mean, yeah, he makes throws that turns heads. So yeah, like I said, he got a bright future for real.
Sure. You know, every quarterback, man, every receiver needs a quarterback that's gonna protect him. So I know when you saw that rope, you was like, oh yeah. Now I can do something with it. He can. I ain't waiting on this thing. I can keep moving.
Yeah.
I actually got caught on that rope though. That's the thing. We played the Commanders this year. He threw a dot across the middle, but I don't know where the safety came from, bro. Smacking me, bro. That might have been the hardest I got hit in the league, but I was like, nah, it was a great ball though, but yeah, it's something I should have held on to. I still think about that to the day, but bro, he's good. He's a good player for real.
I'm gonna throw something in there, man. I know we got some Falcons fans. I'm a former Falcon player, great Falcon fan, but hey, man, when you start talking Penix now, we got to go to Vic. Can't leave Vic out the conversation.
Hey, you know that's why I started playing quarterback. So I was a lefty too. Vic was the main reason I even started playing quarterback in the first place. So that's amazing. You know, that's my guy.
Man, okay. I got two goated wide receivers, great wide receivers for sure. Is the ball really different coming from a left hand than it is coming from a right hand quarterback? Like they always talked about Vic in Atlanta, and they were saying the adjustment that had to be made. I forgot who the starting quarterback was pre-Vic, but they were saying there was a huge adjustment that had to be made from the way that the ball was coming out left-handed. Is that a real thing?
I think you just got to get used to the backspin for real. It's the opposite spin for real. It ain't just a major adjustment, but you do have to get used to how it's coming out, because now instead of coming here, it's like it's coming here. So once you get used to it, and get comfortable with it, it's pretty cool.
The adjustment, it would hit my hands a little bit harder because the spin was the rotation was different, so it would hit your hands a little harder. For me, that's what I felt. Like it felt like he was throwing harder, but he wasn't. It was just different rotation.
That's facts.
I remember Jerry Rice said he had to work a little bit extra with Steve Young after he came over after Jerry Rice. So, ball does spin a little bit different. Let me go to here, before I forget, and before you let him go. I know we getting to the end.
I want to let him go. I'm going to start the mess.
Okay, wait before you start some mess, because I knew it was coming somewhere. But let me say this, all seriousness. Got his two guys on here with J. Phil and K. Hodge. I'm mad. I'm sad because I could have brought on my former teammate from UAB, former Falcon great Roddy White. We would have had 3 Falcon great receivers right
here. That would have been lit.
So so let me ask y'all this though: top 5 Falcon receivers of all time. Don't include yourself.
Roddy, Julio.
Yeah. Andre Rison.
Whoo.
Yeah.
Let's see. You said Roddy, Julio, Andre Rison,
White Shoe,
Billy White Shoes. You got to
go
White Shoes. My question is, White Shoes, is he still in the building? Is he still associated with the Falcons?
I don't know that, man. You get
Nah, I haven't seen him. You saying in our building?
Yeah, because he was
Nah,
there.
I haven't seen him. Be somebody
Hmm.
good to meet. Yeah, I haven't seen him in the building.
Do they keep a lot of former Falcons around the building so that you guys can, network, bump shoulders,
Nah, for real. The
conversate
only
with?
time they come in all together sometimes when we're in training camp, but there's not many just around the building just hanging out or
Right.
working. But they all sometimes they come back and they're in training camp do like a reunion thing to come to a practice and hang out. And we talk to them at the practice, but nah, I don't remember any around the building for sure.
All right.
Now,
I
Chico,
got
this,
I got one more guy, Michael Haynes. He's a good
There we
guy.
go.
Man,
There we go.
that is a good.
speedster.
I was gonna go Mathis or I was like, I remember those Haynes, I think it was.
Yeah, Mike
Nice.
Haynes.
Yeah,
Now,
shout out to
Chico,
Coach Matt.
the,
I got the Morehouse t-shirt on today.
Shout out to
The
Algie
Met-
Crumpler, tight end too.
Oh, Crumple, yeah.
Yeah, I almost went tight
Chico-
end, but I was like, nah. Y'all still see.
Oh, you'd have made this damn day. Chico, the mess I was gonna start didn't
Here's
have
the
nothing
mess,
to do with
guys.
you. But since you stepped in front of it, you finna catch this stray. Because I got to tell these two receivers when you try to put yourself in their category, y'all gotta understand that Chico played ball at a Bible college in Selma, and he quit because they made him take a Bible class. He did transfer to UAB, and they told him they stand for University of Alabama Birmingham. They stand for get you a Bible because that's what he needed in his life. Because I said, Chico, how you go to a Bible college and get mad they want to make you take a Bible class? Man, they didn't tell me that they signed me. They shouldn't have to tell you it's a Bible college.
You quick
Well, that's where
Bible
you stay
class?
missed, man.
Crazy.
That's
I got
You
love
know.
for you, Chico, man. You know how to take a licking, brother. Keep on taking, bro. I got love for you, man.
You got to be able to go over the middle, Coach Phil. You got to be able to go over the middle. You're going to get hit. You might as well catch the ball.
Go over the middle. Yep.
Y'all missed last night when he was getting at me but didn't have me on the air. He go take me off the screen and do a 10-minute diss Neely speech.
I don't believe that.
Hey, he gonna get this work today, huh?
Do y'all remember the movie Boomerang?
Yeah.
Boomerang had a character on there, Nelson, the bald head man. Y'all remember when Eddie Murphy left him in charge of everything? He just left. He left and he said, "You know what, Nelson, you do it." Nelson,
Yeah, but
I
when I
have
went
full
back and listened
autonomy.
to it, when I went back and listened to it, every 90 seconds you would talk about me. I ain't mean put you in charge to diss me. Jay Phil, what I was gonna ask you, you sit there, you and Hodge, outstanding receivers. You ain't have the gloves that Hodge got when you played. What if you'd have had them gloves? Jay Phil, what if you'd have had the gloves they wearing today?
Man, you know what? You're right. It's unfair,
Exactly.
right? I mean, the gloves really do all the work, man. We weren't allowed to wear gloves and do all that stuff, man. That's like Lester Hayes with Stickum, right? Them gloves, man. I mean, you just throw a finger out there and it stops by. Ball stop. But anything that helps guys, man, play the game the right way, help those guys play it the way they're supposed to play it, man, and give them the confidence necessary for them to do what they're doing. I ain't got no problem with that. We couldn't do it back in the day because they didn't have that. My coach wouldn't let us wear gloves. So I had to catch 108, 110 balls for shows. I didn't have I don't know.
We still catching. We just need, evolution, enhancement.
It's evolution. I agree with that.
Man.
I'm 100% on board with that. Because right now, my receivers, you better go get them gloves they got in there, man. Why not use the tools they passing out for you right now? Use everything.
Exactly.
Man. Use it all.
Yeah.
I want to ask y'all,
Thank
make
you for
the
them
transition from college to pro. You got the white stripes on the ball still. And then I think, and then when you get pro, you don't have the white stripes. Does that make a difference for a receiver?
Man, I'm teaching those guys to kind of locate that stripe in college. We have the luxury of having that stripe. So we're using that as our focal point. Just kind of gives us a bigger visual when we're tracking the ball. But again, when you play in the National Football League, man, I don't think any of that stuff matters. And I know the ball is different. It's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit easier to catch. And so, when you see something coming at you, put your hands on it.
Hey.
Right.
They don't want to hear none of that stripes, though.
Don't want to hear none of that. None of that.
Yeah.
Put your hands on it.
You gotta find a point. Find a point, catch the fat.
Yeah. So I didn't have a problem.
We're gonna let you brothers go. We're getting just past the top of the hour. I gotta ask you this, Hodge. What was your biggest catch-wise, your biggest transition from college to the league that you had to make sure you were focused on?
The speed and realizing that everybody's fast, everybody's athletic, everybody's just as good. So just getting used to the speed of the game and just finding like little nicks and then realizing that it's more like fundamental than anything because everybody's talented and everybody can do everything. It's just the little things that can get you past the next guy. So just finding little nicks and just realizing how important it is mentally in the game and just like really knowing where you're supposed to be as far as like playbook and timing with the cue and everything. So I just realized like once I got here that it's like what people normally like usually say, it's more mental now in the game than just relying on like athletic ability. So I think I think just as long as I go out mentally and keep my mind like locked in and believing and trusting what I could do, then I feel like I could do whatever. But once you lose your like the mental aspect of things, and everything just goes out the window. So as long as you approach the game with just the right mindset and having that confidence in yourself and just believing in yourself, which you gotta have. And sometimes like people outside of the game get it mistaken with like being what's the word? Uh like boastful or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Full of yourself, basically.
Mm.
But nah, you gotta have that type of approach in the game where you just like, I am who I say I am and believing in yourself every day. Because if you don't, then you just gonna get washed to the back of the line for real. So I think it's more of a mental thing than anything.
Yeah, I would
Indeed.
echo. I would say the same thing, brother. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump on that because he's right, man. The speed and the mental aspect of it, because it's a grown man's game. You got to realize something. You as a rookie going in there, man. This is a livelihood for a lot of people in that locker room. This is a business. The biggest thing that changed for me, it was no longer a game. It became a business, and so you got to treat it as such. And I think that's some of the things where guys either elongate your success or cut your time there short if you don't approach it that way. But he's exactly right, man. You can't be in a room full of lions and be prey.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And that's another thing. That's another thing I learned as well. That it's a business. I'm glad you said it. It's a business. So you can't get lost on the business side of things. But sometimes you get lost in saying like, why he getting this and why he getting that. But you get lost in that mindset and get caught up in the business side of things and things you can't control. And that's gonna take you off your focus as well. So like I said, you just gotta control what you can control because once you get off path, man, it's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, and that's how you get to playing bad on the field, and you really about to get out of there then. So just focus on what you can control, what you can control for real.
Love that.
That's the theme for the show, Unc. Focus on what you can control.
And one thing I can control is having you on here or not. So Chico, count your damn days.
Y'all hear that? You get fired on live air. How you get fired on your day on?
hey, Jay Phillips, Chico hit me the other day. They said, man, I was out and about, and everywhere I would go to chat in person, they said, hey, where Neely at? Where Neely at? I got time to ask about you. I said, man, Peter got time to ask about Jesus. See how that turned out. Like, you just like, look, hey, don't play your role, dog. It's okay, Chico. It's okay.
No slack. We just had two greats on here.
Morning Run live on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Pregame Network. Coach J. Field, Big Red Hodge, former and current Atlanta Falcons, two prolific wide receivers. Man, appreciate everything y'all imparted on us. Also, you heard it here first. Coach Prime signed his extension, 5 years, $54 million, just over $10 million a year, keeping them in Colorado for the next 5 seasons. And we got Brother Ken with his lightsaber. Hey, Brother Ken, say something to the people, man.
Got to.
Get the people what they want.
Hey, everybody just got to stay encouraged. And one thing I appreciate about the players, they always got to give the reverence to God, okay? He gives us the talent. We just have to use it. And don't be afraid to make the play.
Hey, somebody gonna make it. And according to the chat, Brother Ken, you was a player. They've been asking, who that player sitting right next to JP?
Somebody said they got $100. Somebody said they got $100 bet that Uncle Ken has on a pinky ring. I said, what?
If he ain't got it on, I bet he got one.
Well, those hands will.
Yeah, see, Brother Neely, you starting my engine, okay? Don't start my engine.
No, that's right. Yeah, man.
Hey, we appreciate you guys joining us once again, man. For Coach Phil, for K Hodge, for Philip Dukes, and the badass Uncle Neely. I'm Big All Chico. We'll see you guys next time on the Morning Run.
Peace, fellas.
Right?
Appreciate y'all.
Chico pay Dukes his money. I'm trying to get in this broadcast and I pay him his money.
No post-show banter. We're going to be up out of here. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.